This is Mario Draghi. Of course I am not Mario Draghi, but I am a high Italian officer at the ECB who is fed up with the policy of the European politicians. I cannot speak under my real name, because then my position at the ECB will be lost and even my life will be in danger. In my last video I talked about the potential inflation in the Eurozone which is triggered by the low-interest policy of Brussels. This low-interest policy isn't only in Europe, but also in the US and Japan. Any of these countries have the same aim, inflating their enormous debts. They redoing this no matter who gathers the damage thereof. In this case, what happens if the interests are low? Try to bring money to the bank and tell me what you will receive. Some banks are offering 0, 35%, others 0, 45%, and again others are offering even 0, 5%. This is at all whole a joke. This can only be a joke. There were times when the interest has been 4%, 8% and even 10%. And here is also a great trap due to these interest rates. If you are now investing your money in a bond with a fixed interest of 0, 5%, what will happen? On the one side you get very few money, on the other side you lose money because the inflation rate is higher than 0, 5%. However, there is another problem. Assume you invested for 4 years to a fixed rate of 0, 5%. 1 year after your investment, the ECB sets interest rate to a quite normal rate of 3%. In this case you would lose money additionally to the negative real interest rate because the value of your bond will shrink. Never ever invest in these times in bonds with a fixed interest rate. But even if you avoiding this, the economy will take damage. If you are not investing money at banks, how should these banks get money to be able to fulfill their work? The government's work is a total illusion. And even if they want to achieve inflation, the politicians should be honest enough to admit that inflation is the only way to get rid of the government's debts. In this case you have to note the following. The huge increase of money will be enormous, inflating as soon as this money comes into the economy. For you, the single citizen, this scenario is very dangerous. Your bank account money is not really safe. In general you have 3 options to avoid losing your money due to the inflation: gold, real estates and shares. Gold has always got its intrinsic value. However, usually if you buy gold, you are keeping it at your bank. During many inflations the single states often take the gold which the investors are holding at the bank. So if you decide to invest in gold, my advice for you: buy it, dig a hole in your garden and hide your money under your garden's earth. Your gold is useless in inflations if you are keeping it at your bank. The second investment, real estates, is not without burden. The state can take you additional money by increasing the ground tax and other taxes regarding your house. However, if you have a good object to buy, then buy it. Shares do also have the probability to be taken away by the state. However, if you buy shares outside of the European Union, the danger of the shares being taken away by the state decreases. Also, the companies within the Eurozone are, in my opinion, not what they seem to be. The only companies which are acting in a stable way are Dutch, German, Austrian and Scandinavian companies. The risk of any other state within the Eurozone is too high. However, especially when inflation risks are growing in the called countries, companies will retreat from investing in Europe. The euro should be a stable currency to attract investors. There should not be much inflation. Why does the ECB pushes that much money into economy? When we are speaking about this, what do you think, German viewers? Is Angela Merkel the reason why the German economy is growing? Indeed she is not. After the PIX states got in danger, there were many investors who did not want to invest into the southern European states anymore. Did these investors go to Germany because Merkel looks so beautiful? No, they went to Germany because of the strong economy which has already been built in the 1970s. In fact, they did not trust Greece, Italy, Spain and so on anymore. Merkel's policy did not have any effect on the wishes of the investors after all. What will be if inflation is rising again in Europe? These investors will recognize a new uncertainty Europe and will also finally retreat from Germany. That is the sad truth. We must stop triggering inflation in Europe. As is already said, if you want to profit from inflation, invest in gold, real estates or company shares, but do not keep your gold at your bank. In the next video, I will talk about situation in Greece. Best wishes. Mario Draghi.